Many schools use Minecraft as an educational resource. There's an educational version just for it too, which contains a plentiful amount of different lesson plans from history to coding. But I wanted to see how much more Minecraft can teach us outside the educational version in terms of learning a new language. Even though the school version has touched on this with some lessons such as directions around town, Hola Mundo, and Nu Muntu, the islands, it doesn't utilize its potential due to there only being a few lessons, very limited language options, and the material is only at the introductory level, so I took it upon myself to see how well learning language in Minecraft could be. I started with 3 different languages, Spanish, French, and Japanese. I wanted to see how different levels of experience would be like, as well as using a language with similar and different alphabets respectively. I'm experienced with Spanish, but I don't know what surf level I am, but I can read it pretty well. Finding a Spanish server wasn't that hard, so I found one that I liked, changed my language to Spanish, and joined in. I highly recommend installing Optifine to help with the performance, considering that you're most likely going to connect to a server that's overseas. Even if I couldn't understand a word, using context clues from visuals and what I already know helped immensely, especially with specialized vocab that you wouldn't typically see outside of a video game. Immediately, I can confidently say that using Minecraft works very well for learning new words in another language. Granted, some words may not be useful in everyday use, but every word that you do learn counts towards fluency. Plus, who wouldn't want to brag about finding diamonds in Minecraft to their foreign friends? However, you will get a lot of exposure to casual conversations through the chat, which is very helpful for understanding how natives usually type. If you find a server that has a Discord server that accompanies it, you could probably use that for more practice, get more engaged with the community, possibly even make some more friends, and use the voice chat to communicate with them. They could probably even give you a bit of pointers too if they're very friendly. I did notice that sometimes they do omit accent marks when they're needed, so if you're not aware of that, you might build up a bad habit of thinking that's the way the word's spelled, but most of the time they were included. But you probably won't be able to include those marks in your own typing, depending on what type of keyboard you have and what language you're trying to study. You may also have to stay up late or wake up early to see an active chat in certain servers depending on where you live and the location of that server. I would say that you need a basic grasp of the grammar to understand some of the words, such as realizing that pico de piedra literally means pickaxe of stone. I'm sure in that case, looking at other tools made of stone would probably put 2 and 2 together, but just knowing that how the basic grammar works will help you figure out things more quickly. And a very good understanding of grammar and vocabulary is needed to understand much of what is told to you either through the server instructions or the conversation from other players. Transitioning over to French, a language that I do not know, it wasn't as fruitful as the Spanish experience was, but I did learn some vocab and a little guesswork on the grammar due to the similarities it has to Spanish. But I could not understand anything else, especially if it didn't have any visual cues that would tie in with it. So in a true French fashion, I had to give up and revolt against the rules of the server because I just couldn't understand them. For Japanese, it was hopeless. I have no knowledge of the language, nor do I know a similar one to help me, but even with the server's hospitality towards English speakers, it was no help. I got stuck in the tutorial because I got confused by what the signs were wanting me to type for the door's password, but if I did know Japanese, I wouldn't be able to communicate with other players due to my keyboard, which is also a problem for other languages that have a completely different alphabet. And the consequence of that is that it takes away the biggest advantage that you'd get from being in a foreign server, the conversational practice with others. One thing to note is that populated servers in other languages other than English and Spanish are very limited, and you may not even find one if it's a very niche type. Overall, Minecraft provides one of the best ways to immerse yourself in a community if you can't travel and if you're uncomfortable with practicing the language with people in real life. I do not recommend doing this if you're starting a new language, because I see Minecraft being more useful to someone that needs more practice with interactions with others, reading skills mainly by using context clues to figure out the meaning, and to learn more vocab. I do have to say that if you're just playing the game without interacting with the community or just interacting and focusing on what you're doing with tools and seeing what their names are, then you're not really going to have much of a good experience learning the language by doing this. This isn't one of those learn a language in instant or easiest tips to learn one. It's just a tool to help you learn. The effort that you put in towards interaction will equate to the knowledge that Minecraft can provide you in terms of a language. Other tools such as flashcards, a textbook, or an actual course or class are much better, but playing Minecraft is certainly a whole lot more fun. I can see elementary classrooms of the future using Minecraft as a way to try and get kids inspired to learn a new language or to get them to be more engaged. But using video games as a way to learn a new language definitely has its possibilities and opportunities. It just hasn't been optimized yet. Has your class or you personally ever used video games as a way to learn a new language or even anything new? Please let me know because I'm very curious about this. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video and were possibly inspired to play Minecraft again in order to learn something new.